5, 4, 3, 2.
Tier 1 performance.
Welcome back to the In and Out Talks podcast, guys. Your host, Mitch Matulia. Today's special guest is a coworker of me and Jordan at D-Bat Humble. He's a professional hitting instructor. He's also a former collegiate and professional baseball player, Sergio Sencion. Welcome to the show. Thanks for taking your time,
What's going on, man? Thank you. I appreciate you guys inviting me on and sharing a couple moments with you.
Absolutely, man. Dude, you've been around the game for a very long time. So this podcast is going to be great for you parents and kids out there who want to learn how to not only better yourselves on and off the field, but kind of some things on how to get recruited and play at the highest level of baseball. So, man, to dive in, just a little background about yourself and where you grew up and kind of your upbringing.
Yeah, so originally from New Jersey, born and raised in Paterson, New Jersey. Went to private school, private high school, ended up going to a D3 school. I'm going to age myself, but I'm 44 years old. So, I ended up in college back in 99 at a D3 school. From there, I went to the Dominican Republic, Europe. I mean, you name it. It's just an experience, a journey that, at times you wanted to quit, but,
right.
You just kept going. As far as the upbringing, I mean, from living in the projects, seeing what you wished for nobody to experience. Not saying that we had it bad, but when you're walking up the stairs to your apartment, there are drug deals being done right in front of you.
Right.
Your mom having to go to work at 4:00 in the evening, coming back at 2 a.m, and knowing now at this age that the quote unquote drug dealers actually knew who we were, knew who she was, and literally guided her up the stairs or into the elevator, making sure she was protected.
Yeah.
My dad, again, working hard, taking care of two sons, which at one point in time, parents were together, and then unfortunately divorce struck, for whatever rhyme or reason. We're older now, and we understand, that life just takes its toll. Everybody has their journey. Right now they've been apart, a lot longer than they were married. So that's for sure. And you learn from those things. Baseball was at the time, in a way, was a getaway.
Yeah,
it was like
an outlet.
The outlet. Yeah, and I wasn't the fastest guy, wasn't the strongest guy. As a matter of fact, I was pretty overweight at one point, and that was at the time that catchers were the big kid. They were the not so mobile kid.
Right.
But I had an arm, so I was put at short, but I couldn't move laterally. Then I was put in the outfield. I couldn't catch. I couldn't take that route to get to the baseballs.
Right.
Quickly. So then one day it was like, man, you want to catch? Yeah, sure. And just fell in love with it. I was in every pitch, every play. Next thing you know, I start slimming down, so forth and so on, and here we are. I got to experience 5 years of pro ball,
Wow.
and just an incredible journey.
That's awesome. And was baseball the first sport ever introduced to you, or did you play multiple other sports?
Baseball was the first sport. I mean, my parents being from the Dominican Republic, it's almost like you're born to play baseball. Yeah, it's a religion, right? I literally was born into it. I did play football for 1 year as a center. I forget the age. I was probably 12 or 13 years old. But then that following year in baseball, I ended up, in practice, breaking my ankle, sliding. We were practicing sliding, where my foot got underneath me. Next thing you know, I'm broken in 3 places. And, I went to the doctors and all this, and going through therapy, the doctors literally said to me, you have a choice. You can, you'll be fine, but you'll have a choice if you're going to play football next year, because here's the deal. Somebody falls on you the wrong way and your baseball career is over.
Yeah.
And I said, that was an easy choice. I said, football's done. Played football 1 year, and I wasn't going to risk it. you know,
100%.
and just continue playing ball and working on my craft. Not going to say that at the time, at 12, 13, 14, even 15 years old when I'm in high school, that I put the work ethic into the sport as I should have. You know, you look at the holidays and what's his name with the Phillies, lefty. I'm drawing a blank here. Lefty hitter, first base now.
Oh, Bryce Harper.
Harper,
yeah.
right? Harper. He put in that work where he's, you know, he knew what his goal was. Right. I understood what my goal was, but knowing what I know now, I wasn't around per se the individuals, the correct individuals, the right individuals that, you know, like you for yourself, you're big into lifting.
Right.
Well, you were around someone that sparked it up for you and then continue to guide you, right? Not saying that we didn't have that guidance or I didn't have that guidance. There were many individuals in my life that guided me, but now with everything that one does and that I do in my life, you know, that guidance is there, that mentorship is there almost, I wouldn't say 24/7, but when you check in, it's like, what are you doing? Why are you not doing it? Cool, don't talk to me until you're back to this level.
Right.
You know, so that's, you know, hopefully I'm not going.
No, not at all. And like, at what age did you feel like, hey, playing this sport at the next level is like a real possibility, like at the collegiate or professional level, you know?
Well, what's crazy enough that even at let's just get to the high school level.
Yeah.
I was always told you're not gonna.
Really?
And that was a trigger for me in anything that I did.
Right.
You're not good enough to do this. You're not fast enough to do this. You know, I remember getting to high school and being around some of the other guys where as a freshman, you didn't play varsity ball. And I said, I will get to the varsity level my freshman year. I'm going to play. I'm going to start. And they all laughed. You know, coaches were sitting back. Okay, we'll see. And I just worked my butt off. I wasn't the strongest. We didn't have the biggest gym. We didn't do any of this stuff. Just to be quite frank, I wasn't as disciplined. However, I still made the varsity team.
Right.
And I said, I'm going to start. And I started. You know, I'm going to hit X amount. And I did that. Make, you know, all state, all county, all these other awards that one could achieve. I believe my freshman year made honorable mention. That was a start. Okay, I was able to do that. What are we doing next year? And what are we doing after that? And I saw the other guys that were in the papers and were being talked about, oh, this kid's going to play, he's going to make it to the pros. This kid's going to make it to the pros. For instance, there's one individual that was a very good friend of mine, pitcher, athletic, that in a way I looked up to.
Right.
And man, if this kid's going to make it, then you know what? I can make it too. Long story short, you know, you fast forward through high school and it's like, man, none of these individuals that the city and a lot of professional coaches that we had that said they were going to make it, none of them are playing in college but me. Because even the individual that I was looking up to, I went to the same school, and the year that I went to college, he dropped out and continued his career in the Army.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
So, you know, it's like, man, what are these people looking at that makes them or has them say that this person will make it, but this person will not?
Yeah, Jordan and I, we're big on telling these kids, hey, it doesn't matter where you're at your 8th, 9th, 10th grade year, because there's guys committing to colleges by 9th, 10th grade, like A&M, UT, they're all over these guys. Don't get intimidated by that because they're just maybe early bloomers or whatever, you know, or maybe you still have more development to do. You haven't found that mentor, that coach in your life to find whatever it is in your swing, or you just play more baseball and you progressively get better and better and better. So to kids who are, I guess, under-recruited, right, in high school, what do you recommend to them, like say 8th, 9th grade year, where do they need to do in order to get seen or like to get looked? Is it more so the environment that they put themselves in, or did they need to find a hitting instructor? What do you suggest to kids who are kind of overshadowed by other guys?
Work.
Work.
Put in the work, right? Mm-hmm. Don't focus on what Johnny's doing over here. Don't focus on, Peter over here that's getting recruited and being talked about so highly. Put in the work. Mm-hmm. That's the one thing you are in control of. You have no control over what somebody else is looking at or why somebody else is looking at this individual.
Right.
But you have control over how can I get them to look at me.
Yes.
Right. And I believe in today's day and age, where the misconception comes in, it's like, I see dads with, these bat speed monitors on the bottom of barrel or bottom of bats, trying to get bat speed on a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
Why? You show me a major leaguer that's worried about bat speed and not mechanics, and I'll tell you, okay, then it's worth getting that little thing.
Yes.
Bat speed over time, you're gonna have bat speed, mm-hmm. right? But if you get the proper mechanics, guess what? You're gonna grow into a young man. You're gonna grow into a man, and it's gonna take over after that, right? But without the proper mechanics, without the proper work ethic, and speed and agility. That's huge. That's something I didn't do growing up, right?
Correct.
And I ran like I had a fridge on my back. Literally, I was the slowest guy.
Absolutely.
But when I put the bat on the ball, it went, and I was able to. I was taught how to hit away, how to hit into the gaps, right? So even though back in high school I would hit 7/8, guess what? I was utilized to bring those running, right?
Right.
And college, I was used to bunt around, at least my first year.
Yeah.
And once I grew into my man body, as I like to call it, I learned how to work out. I learned how to be around other guys that had that vision, had that tunnel vision. But again, back to that advice is just put in the work, right? Instead of worrying about what video game you're playing or who's on my snap, put that aside. Take that 30 minutes to an hour and go to the gym, go run, go work on your craft. Quit making excuses as to my dad's not around or I don't have a buddy to throw with. Well, guess what? You have a wall, you have tennis balls, you have wiffle balls. There's always a skill that you can work on by yourself with a wall and a tennis ball.
100%.
It's that simple. It really is.
You can find a way. And Jordan and I were very fortunate enough to have found each other in high school to where we kind of held each other accountable, went to go hit with each other after practice,
mm-hmm.
would lift weights. But control the controllables is the best thing you can do, right? You can lift weights, you can work out, you can run sprints, you can hit in the cages, right? Like, mm-hmm. and a lot of kids who come to us, I'm sure you get the same thing, right? Is like, how often are you hitting? Like 2 or 3 days a week.
Right.
That's not going to cut it. Like, you don't understand the next level, it becomes a full-time job.
Yeah.
If you're not hitting 5 to 6 days a week for at least an hour and a half, you're never going to progress.
That's what I tell the kids at DBAT. You know what I mean? They come to me. Let me backtrack a little bit. I literally, first time I see a student, I have a quick chat with them and their parents, and I let them know these are my rules. Yeah. And one of those rules is I give you homework. Mm-hmm. That homework, you need to do it every single day, except on Sunday. That's your day off.
Yes.
And here's the caveat to that. If you miss a day during the week, you don't make it up on Sunday. Right. If you're sick, you don't make it up on Sunday. That is your day off no matter what. But here's the deal. If you don't do your homework, I'm going to ask you. It's a one-strike rule with me.
Right.
You don't do your homework because you quote-unquote forgot or, you just didn't have time. That's all baloney. You know what I mean? You didn't have time. What are you doing? Working?
You're a kid.
You're a kid. What do you mean? Like, I get it. If you have something to do with mom and dad, sure. You didn't have time. That's a valid reason, right? It's not an excuse because mom and dad they rule. If you have somewhere to go, cool. But here's the deal. How do you expect yourself to get better by just coming to me? I tell parents all the time, you can bring them to me every single day, 5 days a week, and it does not mean you're going to get better. No, what that means is that now they're dependent on me.
Correct.
Right? So guess what? I need you to come to me once a week. How long? 30 minutes, an hour? I need 30 minutes. That's all I need.
Yeah.
Right? Why? I don't need an hour. Right? Depending on the age, you're going to lose them within a couple minutes. 30 minutes is the happy medium. Quite honestly, if we could get 45 minutes, that would be even better because you're at the cusp of an hour, mm-hmm. but I could utilize 10 to 15 minutes just to talk and see how much they retained. Correct. Right? So what's the purpose of the homework? It's the repetition, right? Anything that we do in our life, you have to repeat over and over again. You don't get it the first time. Anything in our lives. You didn't get the muscles that you have by going to the gym for 2 days.
Right.
It took you a couple months to see progress, and then it took you a year to actually see you gain your muscle, see the progress, the hard work that you put in the beginning, the pains, right?
Yes.
And even then, you're still putting in more time because you're still in pain at times, right? Because you're working, you're growing certain muscles. So it's the same thing with hitting. It's the same thing with throwing. It's the same thing with fielding. You got to put in the reps. How do you put in the reps? On your own time. How long? To be honest with you, 20, 30 minutes over time adds up, right? And that's what many parents that I talk to fail to understand. That think about it like this. I think I read it somewhere or saw it somewhere where a young man goes to practice twice a week. Their practices are an hour and a half long, but quite honestly, how long did that young man practice for? 20 minutes, maybe, right? How many reps did he or she get? 10 reps, 15 reps, right? Yeah. How many swings did they get? 10, 15, Well, guess what? That young man used to stay out after practice for an extra 15 minutes. Think about this, for an extra 15 minutes. And you do that every single week, right? An extra 15 minutes is an extra 30 minutes a week. 30 minutes a week, 4 weeks, that's what, 2 hours, right?
Yes.
You multiply that times 12. Holy moly. How many hours did that kid just practice more than the other kids that were on that field with him, just because he decided to stay an extra 15 minutes after practice? That, his dad is just amazing for doing that. Yeah. Which brought back to my world, man, if I could just do 1% more of whatever it is that I'm doing at the end of the year, I'm going to be, let's just say, you take days off, holidays, all this other stuff. Let's say I'm going to be 250% better just by doing a little bit extra.
I couldn't agree with you more. So do you feel like that there's an issue with teams playing too many games rather than focusing on practicing and development in today's game?
Yeah, I mean, that's almost like a double-edged sword question, right. Honestly. Games are great, but the repetitions are better. And I can say that, I got to experience this for the first time in the Dominican Republic. In 2003. I took my last semester, right? I had my eligibility was done. I had 1 semester left of school, and I decided to take that off and went down to the DR and played ball down there with a couple camps. And I was trained by some amazing individuals. And that time that I was down there, you wouldn't believe how the mindset changed. That was the first time that literally it clicked in like, man, it's possible for me. Right. Because I'm bigger, I'm stronger. Yeah. However, these guys have that work ethic that I'm missing.
They're more refined.
A lot more refined. Yeah. And this is what people don't understand. You sign up your kids to play all these tournaments, but at the end of the day, what's the quality in it? Where's the quality in it, right?
Exactly.
This is why I say this. In a month's time, right? How many games you think we played while I was down there in that first month that I was there?
I'm going to say anywhere from 5 to 10.
No, sir.
Less.
2 games.
2 games.
2 games. You practiced for 14 days. On the 15th day, you played a game.
Wow. After
that game, the next day you were back to practice again for another 14 days. And then guess what? You played another game.
Yeah.
Because it was repetition. And then in the game, in that 1 at bat, 2 at bats, 3 at bats that you got in that game, you were able to see the fruits of your work. Right. And I'll be honest with you, I was looking at kids that they were small. I don't want to disrespect anybody by saying scrawny, but compared to myself at the age of 20, almost let's say 22, 23 years old, I think I was. The physical aspect was there, but these guys had the strength aspect.
Yeah.
Right? And how did that come about? The quickness, how did that come about? The footwork, how did that come about? Repetition. Day-to-day repetition.
100%.
Guess what? They woke up, the sun was up, they were on a baseball field. Mm-hmm. Kids leave school. They don't go to school because this is their life. Right? Why are there so many Hispanic players in the major leagues? Because that's their goal.
That's their way out, right?
That's their way out of poverty. Mm-hmm. Now I'm not saying that you haven't seen young men, young women come out of poverty by becoming that lawyer or that successful business person, individual. Mm-hmm. But in Latin America, especially in the Dominican, it's baseball. That's all you see. Any street you walk down, man, I'm telling
There's
you.
kids outside playing ball.
They're playing ball. They're making a makeshift glove out of cardboard boxes, you know. They're making baseballs out of socks. You know, you put a rock in the middle and you wrap it around with socks, add some rubber bands, add another sock, and next thing you know, you got your baseball.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of things that we take for granted here, you know, that time helped me appreciate more what it is that we have our hands on.
100%. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more with you. And I don't think kids realize today, too, just even big leaguers, right? Or even minor leaguers, professional athletes, they get to the ballpark 7 hours before the game even starts, and they have a full-out practice.
Yep.
And then they play a game.
Yep.
And talk about the refined skills that these guys have. And in today's game, the skill's higher than ever, man. Like, these guys are throwing so hard.
Yeah.
They've got such great power. I mean, like, it's crazy how much the game's evolved and changed.
Injuries are more prominent as well.
Yeah.
But you notice it starts now with these young kids I'll just go to 10, 11 years old. They're coming to the ballpark, they're getting out of their vehicle, and there's no stretching. There's nothing happening prior to them throwing a baseball. And then parents are wondering why by the time they're 15, their elbows are like, oh yeah, you need Tommy John. Well, you need a stretch.
And your body needs nutrients and hydration, right?
Yep.
So like some kids that come to us, I'm like, when's the last time you ate breakfast? Dude, at 6 p.m. How much water have you drinking a day?
Yeah.
Maybe one water bottle.
Yeah.
Dude, you're more prone to injury if you're dehydrated, if you don't have as much nutrients in your body. Like, you know, these are things that I think parents need to hear, because it all starts with what you're putting in your kid's body, and you can dictate what your kids eat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand it, man. Like, if you have the means to provide food for your children, why wouldn't you want to give them?
Yeah. A bowl of cereal is not going to cut it.
It's not going to cut it.
It's not. It's sugar. You're going to get your high, and then they're going to be sluggish. Listen, you're better off going to the donut shop and getting a bacon, egg, and cheese.
Kolache.
On a croissant or kolache. 2 kolaches, you know what I mean? Hell, make a sandwich. Eat a sandwich. You know?
Yeah.
But soda? Why? Why are you drinking soda before a game? Like, for real?
Right.
Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, we can go down a path here where it's like, man, parents, you guys make it look so easy.
Yeah.
Well, number one, don't compare your kid to someone that's been doing this, you know, 20, 30 times over. You know what I mean? At this point, hell, I'm 44 years old, and I throw with kids every single day. My arm doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
I'm throwing 12 months of the year straight.
100%.
Right? Whereas if I would have known what I know now then,
Yeah.
life would have been different. And again, hindsight's 20/20. But at the same time, it's like, why are you comparing yourself to me? See, I'm telling you what your kid needs to do, but your kid's not going off to do it.
Right.
Which is what? I need you to go do this. I need you to go do this. And I need you to go do this. Why? Because I understand that I made that mistake of not doing that
Correct.
at their age.
Yeah.
So you have a blueprint right now, the cheat code, right? To making things happen for themselves. Why? Here's the deal. Your kid at 8, 9, 10 years old is already 20 times better than I was, or not better, 20 times more ahead of where I was at that age.
Yes.
Why? I didn't have access to private lessons. Hell, I didn't know that they existed.
Neither did Jordan and I. Like, we didn't get lessons. Man, it wasn't a thing.
I was 27 years old. I was in my first year of pro ball here in Texas, where the host dad that I had, he's like, hey, you need to make extra money? Hell yeah. I mean, what we're getting paid is peanuts, right? I'm like, yeah, anything. What do you got? He's like, well, you could do lessons. I'm like, what do you mean? Literally, my exact words, what do you mean?
Right.
Well, people will pay you to teach their kid what you know. Nah, there's no way. Yeah, what do you charge? Whatever you want to charge. You're the one with professional experience. And at that time, I only had like 2 years under my belt. It's like,
Right.
You know more than any of those parents. Okay, did my first lesson, man. 30 minutes, $20. This is pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And that just opened the floodgates from there.
Yeah.
Now 17 years in, and it's like, wow, the knowledge that you really have to sit back and think, wow, I really understand all this. Now when I hear somebody else talking about this, when I hear A-Rod on TV talking about this, when I hear all these old school players, it's like, holy moly, I've been on this right path. Now it's just, how can I get this to this young man or this young girl so that they can excel their career?
Yes.
You know, and that's where the reward comes in, you know, as an instructor, as just another human being helping another human being, you know.
Absolutely. And like me personally, I want to kind of find out more about your professional background too. And so like, you know, out of college, how was your collegiate career? And then like, what was your entrance? Like how'd you get an opportunity to play professional baseball? And like, what'd that look like?
Man, to this day, I still don't understand it. There's some stories that I've been informed of in my past, I would say in the last couple of years, definitely 10 years or so, maybe a little bit more than that. But college career was, I was a walk-on. You know, I didn't get recruited to go play at a D3 school. Yeah. Like I said, my friend was playing there. He had told me about it. The coaches knew of me, but they never came to recruit me. So as a walk-on, you know, at the College of New Jersey, D3 school, walked on, and man, first fall practice, I'm there, and there are these 6 other catchers there, and scrawny little me, I'm 100. I think at the time I was like probably 180, 185 pounds. I was the smallest guy there. I mean, all these guys were beasts. And when I say beasts, 200 plus pounds, they basically look like you, but each one of them is 6 feet to maybe 6'3". You know, the tallest guy we had was 6'6", 6'7", and he was a pitcher, right? And again, it's like, man, you're probably not going to make it. Mm-hmm. There's my trigger. It's like, okay, I'm not going to do it. Cool. That's your opinion. It's not my reality. It's not my fact.
Right.
And so I said, all right, what do I have to do? And the first thing I did was I just went to the catching coach and said, okay, what do I need to do to get on this team? And the gentleman to this day, we're friends. Like we're great. This individual has my utmost respect, you know, because he was a guide. Mm-hmm. And it was just for the simple fact I asked. You know, all the other guys that were there, they was like, whatever. They were cocky. Yeah. They're better than everybody. I wasn't brought up that way. I wasn't raised that way per se. Right. And I use that word raised lightly, you know, because I believe more in guidance. Mm-hmm. And my parents did that, you know, in their respective way. My mom did her best with what she understood. My dad did his best with what he understood. But I believe my brother and I were guided, which led us to being able to ask questions and saying, hey, what do I need to do? And this gentleman said, well, number one, you need to put on weight. Mm-hmm. Number two, just do what you know how to do. I've seen you catch. We just couldn't recruit you. You know, we had other guys in mind, and that's who's here. Right. Okay, fair enough. So after that conversation, it was already dead set in my mind, I will be a starter on this team. I'm going to make the varsity. It's that simple. Mm-hmm. So what did I do? I got in the gym, right? You're in college. You have access to a gym. Absolutely. Right? Not 24/7, but you had access to it. All right, this is what I need to do. Who do I need to follow? Well, I knew who the starter was. I started asking him questions, right? Yeah. The guy could rake, but I knew I had a better arm than him, right? So our team was made up of hitters. You had to hit, and you had to hit bombs. You just had to hit the baseball, right? Well, guess what? The power that guy had, at 19 years old for myself, wow, I didn't have it. So what's my strength? I have a better arm. How can I get behind the plate and get him to be a DH? Well, that was a task for later on. I had 5 other guys to beat. Mm-hmm. How do I do that? Okay, little by little, I knew that these guys had no work ethic. Guess what? On a Friday, they're going out to party with our teammates. Right. I'm not saying I didn't go party, but you know what I didn't do? I didn't go drink. Yeah. Right? I waited till later on. Why? I'm super grateful for my family. You know, they introduced us to what alcohol was and what one decision could do for the rest of your life. Right. You know what I mean? They taught us right from wrong, but they were very open in how they brought situations into our minds, into our world. Right. Yeah. So I used that to my advantage. Hey, we got a fall game. You're not going to take it serious, but I am. Because I know that the coaches are looking at how, not just how you perform, but how you hustle on and off the field, how you handle certain situations. Mm-hmm. Well, guess what? These guys are coming in on a Saturday morning, sluggish. Hungover. Yeah. The recovery. Yeah, no recovery at all. Why? Because they just got home at 3 a.m. We're on the field at 8 a.m. Hold on a second. I got you beat.
Yes.
So, man, you get through the fall. Next thing you know, coaches are having me in their office, and they're like, listen, we have you right now as number 4. I'm like, number 4? So this is number 1 guy, and I'm only 3 behind him? Cool. What do I need to do to get past this guy? What is that guy doing that I'm not? Well, they have more weight on you. They're bigger, they're stronger, they're faster. And they've been with us already a year.
Right.
In my head, I don't want to use the incorrect words here, but there's certain words I use, and I'm like, forget that.
Yeah.
No, you're wrong. And I'm not going to prove to you that you're wrong. I'm just going to prove to myself that I'm right. Right? It was a vendetta that I had. Like, I'm tired of everybody telling me I'm not able to accomplish this or I'm not able to do this. Why? Because this guy's bigger, faster, stronger. Well, my trigger was I was fat. I was too slow. I was this. You're not going to make it.
Right.
Cool. I did everything that the coach said to do, and I continue to do that. He said, by the spring, you need to be at least 190, 195 pounds. 10 pounds, in a short period of time. I mean, this is October of 99. I needed to be at that by end of January, 2000. So I got 3.5, 4 months.
Yeah.
How the hell am I going to do that? You
Right.
know, what do? You just go back home, get home cooked meals,
Exactly.
You're Dominican. You eat a lot of rice, you eat chicken, you eat beans, just eat everything that's in front of you.
Right.
And at the time, McDonald's wasn't what it is now. So, you just ate a lot. You burned off those calories. That's how I did it. But I was 5 pounds short. I was about 190 pounds. Yeah. And I was number 2. Opening day, I was number 2.
Yep.
And I knew that in my head because I knew what that guy was doing. Mm-hmm. He was a junior. He could rake. It was just that simple.
Right.
And he was in the gym. At this point in time, now I continue to ask him, what are you doing? What do I need to do? Because you're going to be a senior, bro. I'm a freshman, and I'm behind you, right? Mm-hmm. I've always practiced good faith. I'm never envious. At least now I understand even more, not to be envious of somebody else. Right. Was there some, he's not better than me. I'm stronger than he is as far as my arm is concerned.
Yeah.
But I just let time to take its course. What do? Continue to ask the person that is ahead of you what they're doing, how they're doing it. Stick to them like glue. Going back to the first question, you asked me what advice do you give that young man or that young girl looking to get into that next level? Find the person that's ahead of you,
right,
and stick to them. Ask them questions. Don't be annoying, but ask them questions. I promise you, if you ask the right questions, you're nowhere near going to be thought of as annoying. No. If anything, it's like, man, they appreciate it because they've been down your path.
100%.
Right now for us, you get a young man. I love it when a 12, 13, 14, 15-year-old comes up, coach, how did you get to do this? What did you do? It's an action question. It's man, I'm looking to get ahead, but I'm stuck.
Right.
It's when you get all the other questions like, well, how great was it to play pro and how were the fans? And that's not, something that is going to get you ahead because all that is glamorous, yeah. But ask me about the journey,
Exactly.
We all have this journey that people don't see. Parents nowadays aren't aware of. You just see the glitz and glamour. You have no idea what this person had to do to get where they're at and the kind of money that they're it's being thrown at them.
Yeah.
You have no idea what they did.
Oh, it's dirty. It's dirty at the beginning.
Oh, man.
Right. And that goes into other facets of life, right? Like if you want to become rich, why would you take advice from a poor person? Mm-hmm. You want to take advice from a rich person. I always found people who were better than me at baseball who had made it to the big leagues. What were you doing in high school? What were you doing in college to get drafted, right? And most of it is what you just said. They had a chip on their shoulder, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe they were overlooked. They had talent, but they had to have a good work ethic, mm-hmm. right? Because everyone at the major league level, they all have talent, but they also all have elite work ethics. Mm-hmm. And that goes, that's obvious, right? I played under Craig Biggio for a year. That guy wasn't any bigger than me, right? He was athletic, right? But I said, this guy made it because he is the most competitive human being I've ever met in my life.
Yeah. Dude
hated to lose more than anything. So I think, the mindset of athletes is so important. And I think them getting mentored by you And by us, who've played at a high level, seek out information 100%. Is my advice to kids. Seek information, ask questions, because everyone who's made it, guess what? They want to share their knowledge with you. You know what I mean? Like, we want to give back. It makes us feel good.
It's grit and mindset. Like you said, grit and mindset. How do you get back up after you've had a unfortunate happening? How do you get back up after an 0-4 game? How do you get back up after getting injured from working out? You're looking to get better, and here you go. You just got injured. It's being around individuals like yourself. I learned just as much from you and Jordan as I do from a 12-year-old, as I do from a 7-year-old. It's always learning from everybody around you. Doesn't matter how old, how young. There are things you're going to learn if you're open to it.
Correct.
And I tell parents the same. You can learn as well, right? I don't know it all. I don't ever say that I do know it all. Because guess what? If I don't understand something that you're doing, I'm going to ask the person next to me. And I've done that with you. I've done that with Jordan, where you guys are next to me. And I'm like, hey, what are you seeing that I'm not?
Yes.
Right? What advice would you give me? Because he's not understanding how I'm saying it. Maybe how you say it's going to be, that aha moment for that kid,
100%.
And it's the same thing for us as adults now, moving on in the business world. When we as humans begin to understand that the cheat codes are out there, you just have to ask, what are you doing? Go find a person that's doing that and ask them, how did you get here? I can 1,000% tell you that even though they may be millionaires and billionaires or just thousandaires, let's just go there.
Right.
They're willing to give you the sauce.
Yes.
You're asking. You're not competition.
No.
You're not.
No.
You're your own competition, and they understand that. It took me so long to have that register in my brain. And the way I think now, to what started 10, 11 years ago with reading and reading books and having mentorship, I translate that now into teaching. That mindset is what you need. So when I teach, I don't just teach baseball. When I see a kid get frustrated, I'm like, why are you getting frustrated? Help me understand how you're going to pay attention to what I'm saying, but more importantly, grasp what I'm saying when you're frustrated. Now your brain is all clouded. Are you really thinking straight? No, you're in a cage right now. We're looking to get better.
Yeah, make your mistakes here.
Yeah, this is where I want you to make mistakes.
Correct.
And here's the best part. And try this, guys, if you wish. You'll see parents' eyes talk loud when you're in the cage, and you'll see their eyes like go up and like, help me understand how anything that you're doing right now, right? Mm-hmm. You just mishit this ball. How is it affecting you in any way? Do we have runners on base in here? Because the last time I checked, we're in this rectangle box, right? And the ball's hitting a net. What we're doing right now is for when you're out on that field, it's automatic. We're thinking in here. You and I are thinking how we're going to get you better.
Yes.
You're thinking how we can just make this unconscious movement, right, over time, so that when you get onto a field, it's just unconscious. You don't have to thinking about anything, right? But if you're getting frustrated right now, we're stuck. Better yet, you're stuck.
Yes.
And I literally, I like to use the word, I trigger these kids to just think differently, right? And then everything that we do translates into life. Well, you're getting frustrated now. So if you get you raise your hand in class and you give the wrong answer, you're going to get mad? No, you just learned what the incorrect answer was. You sit back, okay, let's go back to your swing. You just learn how not to take that swing because it didn't work out.
Right.
How do we adjust it? Change their mindset, change their way of thinking, their frame of thinking, right? And that's something that doesn't happen much anymore because we're stuck on launch angles and we're stuck on bat speed and we're stuck on what tournament we're going to play and what uniform we're going to wear and what batting glove and what sliding glove. I'm like, what do you need all this crap for?
Yeah, like
what bat are we swinging today? Well,
Jordan and I are huge on that, like having a short-term memory, right? To where and then making your reps count in practice to where in the game you're on autopilot, right? I mean, when I was playing at my best, I was at shortstop literally spitting Step Brothers movie quotes to my second baseman. Mentally, I knew where the ball was going. I knew that if the ball was hit to me, I was going to field it because of all the reps I'd taken, the thousands of ground balls I'd done that week. I knew that when I was up to bat, I had an approach, right? But I wasn't thinking about anything mechanically.
So you were rattling off movie quotes.
Yeah.
From
easily. So I was a C-ball, hit ball guy.
So this is how crazy it is. You're doing movie quotes. You say you used to sing in the outfield?
I sing songs, yeah.
I used to sing at bat.
You used to sing it back.
2 different songs.
Yes.
Row, row, row your boat.
Gasolina.
No. Or the Itsy Bitsy Spider.
Really? The basics.
The basics. And I'm grateful to my brother because he was like, you need to slow down. You need to slow down your brain. Well, it turned out that the 2 songs I would use when, and this is later on in my pro career, I would use one song or the other depending on how fast the pitcher was throwing.
Right.
Crazy because it was my timing. It was my timing, right? Itsy Bitsy Spider. It was my timing for what? For a faster pitcher.
Wow.
Right? Row, row, row your boat.
Wow, yeah.
Dude, and I tell parents, I tell kids all the time, it's like find your just whatever's gonna like block everything out. It's just you and that ball coming at you. And then you just focus on hitting the pitcher in the face.
Yeah.
Literally, I was that player.
Straight through the face.
Straight to just you want to hurt that pitcher. And they look at me kind of crazy. I'm like, listen, I'll tell you right now, if that opportunity would have happened, and it almost did, my brother and myself, we were in the same league right here in Texas.
Yeah.
We almost played against each other, and we almost played on the same team together. And I tell him, if my brother would have been on that mound, he knows I was going after his face all day long.
100%.
Right? He knew my strength, he knew my weaknesses, and he made a mistake, I was going to make him pay for it. I don't care if a lot of people may disagree. It could be my own mom, my own dad on the mound. Yeah. And I'm ripping your face off because right now we're not friends. Right. We're not family.
We're enemies. You're trying to get me out? I'm trying to get ahead.
Yeah, I'm trying to get ahead. No, we never did. We did get to play summer ball back in Jersey. And I think we took a no-hitter into like the 5th or 6th. I mean, you only played 7 innings back then.
Yeah.
So that was exciting to actually, be behind a plate and have him on the mound. But back in 2007, it was a rainy season here in Texas. Yeah. They came down, or we came. How did it work? He was here in Houston. He went up to Dallas, and it was rainy, but he didn't dress that series, right? Mm-hmm. And we were coming back down, and he had gotten released. It was something like that, yeah. Where the 1 week they came up, but they didn't dress him for that one. Then we were supposed to come down to Houston, and because of the rains here, we never even left there because the fields were all flooded here. And then like a week and a half to 2 weeks later, I get crazy transaction. I get released from the team I was at in Dallas, but then somehow ended up getting picked up by the team here in Houston, which he was on. Yeah. I was excited because I called him up and like, I just got picked up by your team. I'll see you there tomorrow. Only to get here and find out he was released to make room.
For you?
For me and some other guy that they got.
What league was this?
This was what was it called? Continental League. Yeah. It's no longer around, but it was Continental League, and I think it was to make room for myself and some other guy they brought in, which was crazy. And I mean, it was so crazy. I even called the GM and I was like, listen, if it's pay, I mean, we weren't getting paid but peanuts, Right. If it's that, like, you don't have to pay him. You know what I mean? Just do the contract however you want. You don't have to pay him. He's just let us play together. Like, why are you releasing this kid that literally you put him his first outing? Mm-hmm. They put him in a situation. I think it was like no outs, bases loaded, and they put him into relief, and he gets out of it with like giving up a run or two. Like, you can't really ask much of your first appearance. Your bases loaded, and your team really just sucks. Let's just be honest. Right. They couldn't put up runs. Then the next time you put him out, he gives up no runs. I mean, his ERA was like maybe a 1 or a 2 something. How do you get rid of this kid? Give him a shot. Yeah. You have other guys that have like a 6 ERA, and they're not getting released. What are you doing? So, wow. But no, the experience in itself it was it was heartbreaking, because it's like, wow, we're going to do this at the pro level. It's pretty cool. And independent ball is independent ball, but still, you're doing what you love,
Right.
You're
a pro ball player.
Yeah, and I get to do this with my brother. That would be awesome, But here we are.
Well, Sergio, man, I know we can go on and on. We're going to get you back on the show. I really appreciate you taking your time today, man, and sharing mindset of athletes and where they should be at. And, dude, got to wrap it up, take you out to eat. But
Thank you,
for your
man.
time,
I
brother.
thank you guys. Keep doing what you're doing because this is, this can take off for you. And it's all about reaching that one person, that one young man, one young lady, and it just changes the whole trajectory of their life. It doesn't necessarily mean in the sport, it just be in their life too. So what you're doing, man, is great. Keep doing it. Super proud of you guys, and I'm grateful to have the opportunity to be in here with you. Thank you
so much, man.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
4, 3, 2,